everyone! So, at the beginning of the summer I made a video about applying to colleges and how to do that, and I promised that I would make a whole college series and do other things for college, and I didn't make another college video, so that's really awkward. So here I am making another college video. Yay! So, if you haven't read the description up above me, this video is about choosing the right college, which is probably one of the harder things about going to college, is choosing the college you want to go to, despite what many people think. So, I'm here to help you figure out what college you want to go to. Now, again, I just want to put it out there that these are just my personal experiences. I'm not a college counselor. You know, you don't have to agree with everything I say. Of course, I'm going to have some biases just because I'm a person, so yeah. So the first thing you need to look for in choosing a college, and this is the most important thing that you could ever consider in a college, and a lot of people don't consider this as heavily as they should, and that's, does your college have the major that you want to major in? In addition to thinking about if that college offers a specific major, you need to think about how good that major is at that college and if it has a successful department. For example, a lot of colleges offer English. Pretty much every college offers English. But there are some schools like Berkeley that have amazing English departments, and then there are other schools like, I don't know, I can't think of an example, but then there are other schools that they just offer English because everywhere offers English. Bottom line, think about if that college has that major, and think about how good that major, how good that degree is from that college in that major. That's confusing to say. What you want to consider is the size of the school. So you want to think if you really want a big school, medium large school, medium small school, really, really small school. Oh my god, this is basically everybody in the world goes here, big school. The difference between large schools and small schools is how they're going to teach you is going to be different. Small schools usually have, of course, they usually have smaller classes. Often, a lot of the small schools that I visited, they cap the classes at 30. So that means that the faculty to student ratio is better. This also means that it's harder to get lost in the crowd, and it's more likely that the professors are going to know who you are, and they're going to help you along the way and stuff. That being said, small schools usually don't have as many programs as large schools. They usually don't have as many extracurricular activities, and they kind of help you, they kind of hold your hand throughout the college process. A larger school the faculty to student ratio is going to be a lot different. You're going to be in huge lecture classes. You're going to be with 300 other students in a class sometimes. You are going to be taught by TAs and GSAs. A TA is a teaching assistant. A GSA is a graduate student assistant. They're the same thing. It's a graduate student at that university, or that university typically, who is teaching the class, teaching a part of the class so that you can have a smaller class, but you're not learning from the professor directly. You're not as likely, the professor isn't going to be on your case as much, but you are going to have a lot more opportunities. There's going to be a lot more majors. There's going to be a lot more specific colleges that can help you. Universities usually have smaller colleges, so you'll have an engineering college, a performing arts college, a liberal arts college, a nursing college. They usually have different colleges. So you have more opportunities. There's going to be a lot more student activities, student groups. Basically, the differences they are just go off, my son, do your thing. We're here if you need us in an emergency, but we trust you. Basic. Next thing, you really, really want to consider location. Location. It is everything. In my, experience with, applying to colleges and just knowing people, they're either, really set on a location and they don't know why they want to be there, or they apply to, all over the world, and they're I don't care. Send me wherever, I'm fine. First and foremost, think about how close you want to be to home. It's really easy junior year and the beginning of senior year to say, I just want to get the fuck out of here. I fucking hate my family. I want to leave. But you know, think about, like, at the end of senior year, it might be a little bit harder. Like, I'm going literally down the street, and I'm scared shitless. And there are kids going across the country, and they're fucking scared shitless. There are kids going across the country, and they're like, okay, I don't care. Also, think about the kind of city environment you want. Are you going to want a big city? Are you going to want a small city? What do you want? If you're going in, think about also your major and what would make sense for you to, like, where would it make sense for you to be for a specific major? If you want to do performing arts, it's going to make a lot of sense for you to be in somewhere like New York, LA, Boston, or Chicago. It's not going to make as much sense for you to be in, like, Gambier, Ohio. Is that a place? I feel like it is. I don't know. That being said, think about your major, though. Like, think about the schools that have really good programs in that. Finally, if you're doing something like psychology or English, everyone offers it. They're pretty much the same wherever you go, as far as undergraduate is concerned. Just think about locations, like, where you want to be. Like, maybe you really, really like the East Coast. Maybe you really like the West Coast. Maybe you really like the South. Maybe you really like the North. Maybe you like the Midwest a lot. Think about locations that like, where you're interested in staying, where you're interested in living, and how far away it is from your house. Location! Tagline, like, segueing from that, think about the social environment of the school. If you're conservative, are you really going to be so happy somewhere like Bennington or Bard or Oberlin? Probably not. If you're really, really liberal, are you going to be happy somewhere like Hillsdale College? Probably not. So think about the social environment of the school. If they're left-leaning or right-leaning, what kind of organizations they embrace. If you're part of the LGBTQPA, and, like, community, try to find schools that really embrace that community and have a lot of outreach for that. If you are really into Hillel and, like, the Jewish community, like, find schools that have a really heavy, like, Jewish population or, like, Hillel population if that's really something that's important to you. Yeah, just, like, kind of find things that you're interested in socially and, like, social communities that you're involved in, and kind of figure it out with that. Oh, also, like, that kind of goes into, like, Greek life, too. If you're, like, really, 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 really morally opposed against Greek life, you hate Greek life, and you think it shouldn't exist in America, don't go to, like, a southern college, basically. If you love Greek life, you're like, Greek life, here I come, sorority, sister, fraternity, every day, every day. A small liberalized college is gonna be really, really weird. You're gonna be like, there are no fraternities here. They're gonna be like, yeah, we know. You're gonna be like, shut up. I'll be like, one, not me. I'm fine with sororities. You're gonna be like, no, shut up. Leave this place. Go to University of Arizona if you want that lifestyle. And they'll be like, man, I will. And you'll be like, mm-hmm. And they'll be like, That's what'll happen. Activities. Does the school offer extracurricular activities you're interested in? This is something that's actually really, really important because it kind of shows the values of that school a little bit. Like, is it a really political school? They're going to have a lot of, like, really political organizations. If it's a performing arts school, they're going to have a lot of performing arts. If they have a lot of sports, then it's going to be a really sporty college. If they have a lot of everything, then it's a balanced culture. Also, if there is an extracurricular activity that you are really, really involved in high school, try to find a college or university that has that extracurricular activity because it's going to make your transition a lot easier. Excuse me. It's going to make it a lot easier, and you're going to find a lot of people who have similar interests to you, and you're going to have made a lot of friends and have an awesome time. Finally, cost / private versus public. I'm putting this in the same thing because they kind of, like, correlate. The major difference between a private school and a public school really is the way that the school is funded. Public schools. Most of their funding comes from the state. They also are funded by tuition and endowments and alumni donations, but most of their funding, over 50%, is going to come from the state. Typically, this means that they have more programs and that it's cheaper. Typically, yes, that's what it is. But they have to do certain things that the state wants them to do. private school education basically comes down to the fact that they don't get money from the state, and if they do, it's in grant form, which is like slightly different. It's not like they're getting directly funded like a state university. This means that all of their funding comes down to tuition, endowments, and alumni donations. This means that they're going to ask you for a lot of money in your lifetime. This also means that typically it's more expensive and they might offer less programs. That's why small liberal arts colleges are almost entirely private schools, and that's why major Big Ten universities are almost always public schools. Also, state colleges usually have breaks for in-state tuition, and they usually don't have breaks for out-of-state tuition. So yeah, that is the general thing about life. That is my second college video of the whole summer. That's awful. I feel so bad. But I swear I'll make more of these once I get all of my shit together. So yes, thank you for watching. I hope that this helps you choose your colleges that you want to go to. But if you're like, you know what, this college, I really, really like it, but it doesn't make sense for me at all, any of these things, but it's like your #1 school, I mean, like, it's up to you. Do what you know is going to make you happy, but if you're like totally confused, think about these things. Bye, guys.